Laughter is dangerous in this world, and danger is a real man's game, he says to me. My gaze remains on the beach as I watch the horizon in the distance. The army general next to me is shuffling on his feet. I can smell the fear in him. He's expecting me to make him laugh by mistake. I half want to, just to make sure his fear is realized. He and I have been comrades once before. We fought side by side in some wars. I eventually left to pursue a job in spreading smiles while he stayed. I used to believe it was because that was what he was good at. I felt comfortable watching people laugh instead. That was then, however. Now, I'm prime asset. One of the top 100 of comedians who can level cities with just a joke. We were kept out of populated areas and provided with everything we could ever need. They also took us off the internet and any form of digital communication. They figured a careless joke could ruin lives. They weren't wrong. It had no effect on us, but to everyone else, well, after all, a knock-knock joke wiped off half of Miami. The letter you sent to the front lines. Is it dangerous to us? He asks. I nod, and he releases the breath I didn't know he was holding. What is it? This is what the world has relegated us to. Decades ago, we only made people laugh. And they laughed and lived. These days, they laugh and die. The older and cringier the joke, the more potent. Spreads like STDs in a condomless whorehouse. A joke, I say. I put my hands in my pocket as the cold breeze from the sea washes over us. I close my eyes and imagine the days didn't have to be literal in the things I say, for fear that someone begins to laugh. You said you needed some help, so I provided it. How potent? Small yield nuke. I open my eyes to catch him saying a small prayer for our enemies. I smile at the compassion displayed before, grimly saying, You remember the days before all of this? When we could laugh and not worry about dying in the process? Yeah. All the time. Things were simpler. Wars were still fought, but it was less horrific than watching people laugh and continue laughing till they died. I get up and brush my jeans before turning to face the general. I see his age on his face, his weathered skin revealing that he has been at this game of death for a long time. He's not looking at me, but instead inspects his hat as if seeing it for the first time. You know, he says, I never thought I would be in charge of deploying nuke-level armament to the front lines in my life. I always assumed I'd be boots on the ground. His voice is almost wistful. I don't say anything. I'm not sure I will be able to sleep after this. Alas, it is the responsibility we carry. I can give you a way out. A good joke. For old time's sake. Same joke I sent ahead of you. I say to him. His eyes lock with mine, and I see tears welling up at the corners. He salutes me and nods. I search his face for any signs of doubt before nodding too. I wave him away, offhandedly, and watch him turn to return back to his ride. Then I call out, Say, Mark! He turns his head. Why did the chicken cross the road? A look of confusion passes his face. To get to the other side? He responded. to get to the other side. I correct him before turning to walk away, leaving him to think it over. 10 steps away from him, I hear him chuckle, and I let the lone tear travel down my face.